Hello, welcome to my grandpa's train. Today I'm going to be looking through a collection of American Flyer. Now today you might notice I'm not in my basement, I'm in my garage. And the reason is that I want to enjoy the last bit of summer before winter hits and I start repairing and rebuilding all of these trains. The other reason is these are quite dirty. They've been sitting in storage in a machine shop for a very long time. And so there is a large layer of dust and machine dirt all over this. All right, let's dig into these boxes. And first we have some boxes. These are almost expired. This one's probably got mold all over it. Here's one that's mostly intact. What was this for? 922 boxcar. Here's another box that's not in bad shape. No label on this one. Most of this box here contains track. So I'm going to rearrange a few things and we'll see what else is in the box. As I mentioned, most of this box is track. Now we have some interesting things. Control buttons, log unloading car, uncoupler. What else do we have here? Another uncoupler, a manual uncoupler, an automatic uncoupler. Let's see. We have a track trip for the log unloading car. Let's see. We have or this actually, I think this is an uncoupler track. Alright, here we have a transformer. This is, it looks like model 2.5. And we have a slight problem with this one. So here's our end. It is completely melted. So this will not be safe to operate until it's had at least the cord and if not the entire cord replaced. Let's see, what else do we have? Here is a steam whistle controller. This is supposed to be spring operated. This would give a whistling effect with the whistle generator tube. And I don't think this is in operating condition considering the tube is missing its top, although this will give me an opportunity to see what is inside this tube. Unloading car button. We have another transformer. This is the pacemaker line. Whatever brand this was to, it doesn't say specifically. It's very heavy, although it's only rated at 12 volt amps, and actually has a fuse with a cover on it on the back. So, Choo Choo Pack, model 161 by National Merchandising Corp. Very interesting. This one has the same problem with its cord. It's completely melted and smushed. So this will then be inoperable with that cord. And here we have a third transformer. This is an American Flyer Model 8B. This is very similar to the one that I have, only this is got a thick layer of dirt and debris on it. This will be a fun one to restore and bring back to life. We have a pressure contact switch, these are always handy, and a track power connector. Now, this is interesting. Okay, I got the cords mixed up. So the one that I showed you that was mushed was only to that other one. This one is the end for this transformer, and it is, I think, in usable shape. So that'll be a restoration. The rest of this box is mostly straight track. We got a tender weight resin and some DVs. And then there's this. This is, I'm not exactly sure what. It looks like it is a rectifier actually, but I don't know. If anybody's ever seen this before or knows what it could go to possibly, let me know in the comments. Alright, I'm going to put this all back in here and then we'll move on to the next box. Alright, before we get to the last box, I'll just go over this real quick. This is what appears to be a overhead signal tower for the tracks. I'm not sure if all the pieces are in there or not. And then we have a number 720 remote control track switches in box. This opens rather uniquely. It folds open like that. And we have one pair of electronically operated switches, completely with spring coiled wire. Alright, what's inside box number 2? We'll look at that in a second. Alright, we've got some rolling stock, a number 948 service car, which currently is missing the cleaning brushes underneath. We've got a number 638 caboose with a beautiful layer of dirt and grime on it. Can't wait to clean this all up. And then the couplers are both intact but missing some wheels. We have a Texas and Pacific gondola, which is one original coupler and one missing. All the wheels are intact. A CB&Q 921 hopper car. One coupler is broke, one is missing. Otherwise, got a little bit of cleaning to do on that one. And let's see, we have a 936 Western Electric real car, Pennsylvania Road. It's quite dirty. It needs a little bit of TLC on this one, but I'm really looking forward to get this one rolling on my railroad. We have the dark red, almost maroon Reading 630 caboose. I don't have one of this color. That's very neat. The axles are bent a little bit, but it's lighted. We have 977 caboose. I didn't realize this one is actually the operating caboose. This one had the metal brakeman on the back at one point, but he appears to be broken off, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'll be able to restore this one, and maybe I'll find another man to stick on there. Got a tender shell for Atlantic locomotive, stamped metal American Flyer lines, or American Flyer printing. Let's see, we've got a operating dump card, the number 914. And it actually has its logs. There's two of them. There's a third one in there. I'll get that all cleaned up. And there's that one. And we have another 944 industrial brown hoist crane. This one appears to be complete, except it needs to be restrung. The string is all dried up and cracked, disintegrating, but otherwise appears to be intact. Missing, well, both ends of the couplers are broken off. Let's put him up to the side. A very nice looking 633 box car. I think this was a candidate to have its hook link couplers replaced, but we'll see. I might put the link couplers back on this to try to keep it original. I might have to find the tools to do that now. It's got a little damage up here, but otherwise it's got both doors and both latches, which is nice, and the handbrake on this end. Let's see, we're getting down to the last few goodies in the box. So we have a Koppers Chemicals tank car, number 912. This one has all of its pieces, but they are loose and falling off. And this one has the cast frame, and it's got the little topper thing. I think that makes it look more interesting than some of the other plain looking tank cars. Very nice. And we're getting down to the last three things in this box. I'll do two and then the last one. So we got, this is a number 300. This is a parts locomotive, and only because it doesn't have a tender and most of the drive linkages are missing on this. And I think these are worth a total of $5. in good condition, and this one is missing a lot of things. But the motor's all there, so I might do a restoration on the motor. See, oh, this one I can actually read the date stamp inside. Let's see if you can see that as well. I don't know if you can read the date stamp, but it says June of 1952. So this is a 300 plastic shell with the sort of semi-clear translucent motor housing. I think Austin's American Flyer just had a locomotive that was exactly like this, only his was in much better shape. Alright, next up we have a number 370 GP diesel. So this one I think might actually run. It has a link bar on the front. It's completely missing on the rear, but I have a solution I might be able to remedy that. We'll see. I would like to get this one. The last engine that I had was in very, very rough shape, and the shell was warped from heat damage and possibly a poor chemical mix of the plastic. This one appears to be in pretty good shape other than some scuff marks here and there, and it's got a thick layer of dirt all over it. But I might take this down to the track later and test it out. We'll see if it'll go. I'm going to have to wear my engineer's gloves to handle this greasy locomotive. Alright, before I get to the last piece in the collection, the second to last I want to look at here is this. This is a Pacific Rail Shop's S-Scale boxcar kit. This is a scale size 50-foot double sliding door boxcar for the Soo line. Let's take a look inside for your enjoyment. Alright, because my hands are all greasy, I'm not going to take this all out. But you can see it's a Soo line boxcar kit. That is indeed S-Scale. And it's got scale size trucks. So I'll be definitely putting this together and seeing if I can get it to operate with my American Flyer equipment. And now for the final and main attraction. Alright, I moved the camera a little bit. We have now, lastly, our American Flyer Hudson locomotive number 326. So I don't know much about this other than it has a couple of features I noticed right off the bat. I'll take a look underneath carefully. And we can see right away on the tender, we'll go from the back to the front. The tender is the style that doesn't have 6 axles. It's got the fake 6 axle trucks, but it does have pickup shoes on these. And I can also see inside the tender that this has not only the reverse mechanism, but it also has a air chime horn speaker inside. So this locomotive has a air chime whistle horn built in. The link bar is completely bent out of shape. It's a little hard to see, but it is not even close to the shape it's supposed to be. And then moving underneath the engine here, we have our Hudson motor, smoke and choo-choo. And this actually is the large motor. So that leads me to believe this locomotive was made in either 1954 or 1957. Turn it around for this side. The large motor was only made in 1954 or 1957 as far as I know. Now, I've never had one of these locomotives before. I'm actually kind of curious and excited to get this in operation again. Aside from my northern locomotive, this is the other famous Gilbert steam locomotive. I have 4 of these in HO scale currently, and not one in American Flyer scale. So I would actually, let's see, no, this side doesn't have all of its linkage. It's missing some, but I have a solution to that. I have a spare Hudson chassis in my basement. Alright, down in the basement we are, and I'm going to first start with the 370 diesel locomotive. Put it on the tracks, and I'm going to switch my control into AC mode, and we've got control A. Alright, sounds like this actually wants to run, and the reverse mechanism might be jammed up. Let's see if that does anything. Alright, sounds like we got some action out of the reverser, but nothing out of the motor, which is no surprise. The other thing I'm going to have to work on is trying to get this power truck tightened down a little bit. You'll notice that when the locomotive moves back and forth, there's a lot of slop in this front truck, and that's because of the design that they used. It sits on a long fork and it's hooked up way near the top. So when it gets old, it loosens up and then it gives it that much slop. So that's another issue to address. We'll clean this up and fix the, maybe put the rear link bar on the rear. And then, alright, let's test out this Hudson locomotive. Alright, this has got the 5-wire. The 5th wire is broken off, so the smoke and choo-choo will not operate. But it looks like the other 4 are intact, so this should get power to the motor. Again, I'm in AC mode because this has the speaker inside, and if I run that in DC, it could blow up the speakers. Alright, and no surprise to me, there's no life out of this, so I'm expecting to have to do a 100% overhaul on this locomotive. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this American Flyer unboxing, uncrating video in the garage today. It's the last bit of summer before fall hits, and testing out these 2 locomotives at my grandpa's train. And if you enjoyed this video, help out my channel by subscribing if you haven't yet, and also leave me a thumbs up and a comment. And as always, thanks for watching.